Hi, I'm Paul Perdue, the infrastructure nerd.
And I'm Mary Jo Boyd, a legal technologist. Every once in a while, you have that case that you need to split the bill between multiple parties. You have one matter, but you need like 2 or more people to pay for that one bill.
It'd be really cool if Tabs could figure that all out for you.
Do you know it can?
Would you show us how to do that?
I would be glad to. So we're going to talk about how you can set up your split fee billing clients. Tabs version 17 has made it so easy. Everything can be put under one client right in that client screen, and then you can tell it who you're going to split it between. So we have to set up our main client, and in my case, I have set up a client for Scooby-Doo. So here's my main client, 851, and let's say that I'm going to split this between Shaggy and Velma. Scooby's not going to pay this bill, but Shaggy and Velma are, and I'm going to split it 50-50. So what I have to do is set up a new client ID or a new matter ID for Shaggy and Velma so that I have that ready to go. And I've done that already for us. So my client, if I look at my list here, my client number 852 and 853 is Shaggy and Velma. So I have them in the system. Now all the time for this particular case is all going to be recorded under the Scooby-Doo matter. Always. So no matter if it's a cost or an expense, it all is going to go under 851 Scooby-Doo. That's my main client. And that's where I'm going to set up the split fee billing. Now you might have a situation where Scooby is going to pay a third and Shaggy's going to pay a third and Velma's going to do a third. Or you might have another person and they're all paying a quarter of the bill. Whatever it is. Or maybe it's Scooby's going to pay half and Shaggy's going to pay half. Or whatever it is. You might have different scenarios there. But I'm going to show you just a quick, easy 50-50 one. So we have our client set up. So what I'm going to do is go into the Scooby-Doo matter, and we have this nice little tab called Split Billing right up here. So now that I've got all my matters set up, I'm going to go under the Split Fee Billing. Oops, and I had some things in there from before, so let me get those out of there. A little test data in there. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to set up a new Split Billing table, and I'm going to add who we're going to split. So the first one I want to do is I want to split 50% to Shaggy. So Shaggy is here, and I'm going to put in there that he's paying 50%. And I'm going to say that he's going to do 50% of the fees, expenses, and advances. Now, something important to remember down here at the bottom is this is where we can tell whether or not we want certain information to appear at the bottom of our statement. So by default, it has this box check that says show split billing summary on the statements. This will be a nice little summary at the bottom that will say client number 852 has 50% and this is the total. And client number 853 will have 50% and this is the total. Now sometimes you don't want that to show. You don't want the other parties to know what they're paying and what the other ones are or not paying. So that is when you would uncheck that box. So we don't want that to show on the statement. You also can decide whether or not you want to have the pre-split value show on the statement. So if I have some fees out there and they have an original value of $100 and then the value after the split is 50 in this case because we're doing 50-50, we can show that original value on there so they can see what percentage it is that they were paying of that. So for our example, I'm going to have them both on so that we can see that on the statement and you can see what it looks like. You also have this capability of limiting this or showing this for each different matter that you're going to be billing. So maybe one side you do want to show it, but another side you don't. So you can get really detailed and you can decide matter by matter who's going to see what. So on this, I'm going to say that yes, he's going to see it. So I have Shaggy paying 50%. Now I'm going to add another one. And this time I'm going to pick Velma. So I've already created her. So Velma is in the system. I'm going to make her pay 50% as well. And I'm going to show on hers too. I'll show the difference here. I'll do the two. And we'll say okay. And so now what we're saying is all the time for the Scooby-Doo matter will be recorded on the Scooby-Doo matter. But once we perform our split billing, everything that's out there is going to be split 50-50. Shaggy's going to pay 50 and Velma's going to pay 50. Now down here at the bottom, we also have some more choices. We can decide whether we want to split both the hours and the amount, or split the hours and then calculate the amount, or split the credits, or split the non-billable and zero amount fees. So these are all fee related. And then we have some options over here that we can also decide how we want those costs to split. So you can pick and choose here, and this is for the overall matter, not the individual. Remember, the individual is when we're in here and we click on the edit or the add, we can show their statement options. But over here, we are showing, for the overall matter, how are we going to do this for the main matter with all that time. One other thing to note is if you do have to go back in and make changes, you can always come back into the client, go to the split billing screen, and you can just highlight the one you have to change and you can edit it. If for some reason you get another person, or maybe that you've decided that Velma is going to have 25% and Scooby is going to have 25%, we could do that. And so we could come in and we can edit this to say now Velma has 25% for everything. And then we can add our actual main matter, our main matter in here as well. So I can just come in and do the main matter of 851. And I can either say they get the remainder of what's left, or I can just manually spell it out that he's also going to get 25%. So we can include that main matter in there as part of our split. And I'll say okay. And so now I've got 50% is going to be paid by Shaggy, 25 by Velma, and 25 by Scooby. So we'll leave it like that, and we'll go ahead and we'll save it. So now I've set up my split billing. So now it's going to come time to bill. And I need to go in and we need to prepare a statement. So we're going to go in and we're going to bill a statement for 851. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. We're going to want to perform our split first. And let's go back into my, can't even click on my right buttons here. So we're going to go into our statement prep, and we're going to perform the split billing. So here, we're going to go in for 851, and we are going to say okay, and we're going to split it. I'm going to stop it here. I'm just going to cut for just a minute because I have to fix something. See if I can undo the split. There we go. So on the screen too, I'm unbilling the split here, so we'll have to cut this out. Sorry about that. I thought I did this already. So we'll undo that. Yes. Stop. And then we'll sync this back up again. I'll give you another count so that we can do it. And we're going to start again right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to actually perform the split billing. So we're going to go under Statement Prep. We're going to click on Perform Split Billing. And then we're going to come in here and pick our main client that we want to split. That's going to be 851, our Scooby-Doo matter. Now you have all these other options that you can do, just like when you're performing or preparing a statement. You can have your fees go through a certain date. You only want to split it through the end of the month that you're billing. Same thing with the costs. In my instance, I'm just going to leave it open. I'm going to say okay, and it went ahead and it split it the 3 different ways. So I say okay. Now I'm going to come back out and I'm actually going to prepare a statement, because now it's taken whatever time was out there and it's split it out for me into those 3 matters. By performing that split fee billing, that's what it's doing. Now if you make a mistake, you've already got, you split it and you didn't want to, there was some more time that the attorney needed to add, and you've already run this perform split billing, you can undo it by going to Maintenance, Transaction Related, Undo Split Billing. It will let you choose a reference, and you can go ahead and you can undo that split. So you can get back and add the rest of the time, and then you can resplit it. So don't panic if you perform it too soon and you have to redo it. You can always undo it. So now we're going to go in and we're going to go ahead and do our statement. So now I'm going to generate my statement from 851 to 853 because I want all 3 of those statements. I'm going to leave mine open here, and I'm also going to just do a draft. So we'll say okay, and we'll preview. And if I look here, here's my previous balance, and it's got a cover statement. So let's just go down into Scooby-Doo's bill. So here's my test entry, and there it had its rate and its original value. So the original value of my fee was 4 hours at $900, and it says you are responsible for 25% of these fees, which is $225. This is showing us that the value of that, the pre-split value of what that was. And then down here at the bottom, here's my summary. So I am seeing that Scooby is paying $225, Shaggy's paying $450, and Velma is paying $225. That's that optional split fee billing summary that you can uncheck by matter if you don't want the other parties to see what they're paying. Okay, I'm going to scroll down a little further to my Shaggy's bill. And again, same thing. He's seeing the total fees and that he's responsible for 50%. And then down here, he also has the summary. So all of these things, same thing here with Velma. If I get down to hers, here she is, and she is also responsible for 25%. And then we have our summary. So that's it. That's how you do it. Once it's all done, you're just going to final bill, update the statement like you always would. It's going to kick out 3 different statements that you will mail or email, whatever you've set up for those matters, and you're good. So there you have it. Super easy, super fast, and you'll get your bills paid by everyone that needs to pay them.
And that's just one more way that we can help you to worry less
and practice more.